My name is Tony Holler, and I'm a 40-year track coach, also football and basketball quite a bit. I was a 38-year chemistry teacher at the high school level. And the last 7 years, I've published a lot of content on my crazy ideas about speed training that really should not be crazy and they should not be revolutionary, but they are. Basically, in America, the last 100 years in sports, we have always tended to try to outwork people. The more, the better. We wanted to kind of go out and get tired every day in training. But if you really want to be fast, if you really want to have high outputs, you have to flip that. So I have sayings like, never let today ruin tomorrow. That tired is the enemy, not the goal. I wish that my coaches back in high school would have been thinking like that, because basically what we did every day was get as tired as possible, and then they would push us past those boundaries. But what they didn't realize, by keeping us constantly fatigued, we never had high outputs. My goal is to make every kid into a guy that runs 23 or 24 miles an hour. But if you practice every day at 18 miles an hour, then you're planting beans and trying to grow corn, and it just doesn't work. So these ideas have been revolutionary. Obviously, there's hundreds of high schools and colleges now that say they feed the cats, and that's why I call it feeding the cats, because we would never take a cat on a long run. They don't do that because they're sprinters. They're high output animals. Lacrosse typically was a sport that functioned by playing lacrosse, lifting weights, and then conditioning, which usually meant tired running. And tired running and sprinting are two different things. So what I've brought to the table in the lacrosse world, and I'm now consulting with Penn and Princeton and UMass and several very good lacrosse schools, what I brought to the table is the idea that what we should be doing outside of lacrosse should not resemble lacrosse. It should be trying to create apex predators as athletes. By apex predators, I'm talking about guys that lift heavy, sprint super fast, jump high, and jump far. And those are the skills that we're looking to create in the lacrosse world. We do not want to be the slowest, weakest, least explosive athlete when we go off to the Ivy League or the ACC to play college lacrosse. We want to be the best, or at least the best that we can be. We want athletes to be the best that they can be. And so if I can convince the kids out here this weekend that they need to separate lacrosse from athleticism and plant the seeds on how to do that, then I've probably done my job. To have the audacity to work on things that most lacrosse programs, it's not even a thought. But they're bringing me in to create faster athletes. Guys that are only running 17 miles an hour but can handle a stick well. Let's make them into 19-mile-an-hour athletes. There is no downside to getting faster. Nobody can ever be too fast. In a Feed the Cats program, we chase maximum speed all the time. They believe in power, explosiveness, and speed, and I think it's the wave of the future.